Jake Morrison sat at his computer screen on Luna Station. He watched the stars like he did every night for 3 years. The moon base was quiet. Most people were sleeping. Jake liked the night shift. It was peaceful. Then something changed. 3 dots appeared on his screen. They were moving fast, too fast for human ships. Jake rubbed his eyes and looked again. The dots were still there. They were getting bigger. "Computer, check for scheduled arrivals," Jake said. "No ships expected," the computer replied. Jake's heart started beating faster. He pressed the red button on his desk. Alarms went off all over the base. Within 2 minutes, Colonel Lisa Martinez ran into the control room. "What do we have, Morrison?" she asked. 3 unknown ships, ma'am. They're not ours. They're not from any Earth nation." Lisa looked at the screen. The ships were huge, much bigger than anything humans had built. They looked like metal whales with glowing blue lights. "Get me Director Henderson on the secure line," Lisa ordered. Deep under a mountain in Colorado, Paul Henderson was already awake. His computers had detected the ships, too. He sat in a room filled with screens and flashing lights. Henderson had been waiting for this day for 20 years. "Sir, Luna Station is calling," his assistant said. "Put them through." Lisa's face appeared on Henderson's main screen. "Director, we have visitors." "I see them." "How long until they reach Earth?" 6 hours at their current speed." Henderson nodded. "Start Protocol 7. Wake up, everyone. Tell them it's time." Around the world, phones started ringing. Important. People got messages. Military bases came alive. In the ocean, submarines started moving. In the mountains, hidden doors began to open. Dr. Kevin Walsh got his call at 3 in the morning. He had been expecting it. For 15 years, he had worked in secret labs. He had built things the world had never seen. Tonight, those things would finally be used. "Team Alpha, report to stations immediately," Walsh told his computer. The message went to 50 scientists around the world. On the alien ships, Admiral Vextar looked at Earth through his window. The blue planet looked peaceful, helpless. Like all the others, his empire had conquered. "Sir, we're receiving radio signals from the planet," his communication officer said. "Put them on speaker." A human voice filled the command room. "Unknown vessels. This is Earth Defense Command. Please state your purpose." Vextar laughed. It was always the same. The weak species always tried to talk first. "Primitive beings of Earth." Vextar spoke into his communicator. "I am Admiral Vextar of the Zelkari Empire. You will surrender your planet immediately. You have 72 hours to comply." In Colorado, Henderson listened to the alien's words. Amanda Foster, Earth's best diplomat, sat next to him. "Let me try to negotiate," Amanda said. "Go ahead. But remember, this is just for show." Amanda spoke into the microphone. "Admiral Vextar, we would like to discuss terms. Perhaps we can find a peaceful solution." On the alien ship, Vextar's officers laughed. "Terms? You have no position to negotiate from. We have conquered 53 worlds. Your primitive technology cannot stop us." "What are your demands?" Amanda asked. "Complete surrender. Your governments will be dissolved. Your military will be disbanded. You will provide workers for our mines and factories. Half your population will be relocated to serve the Empire." Amanda looked at Henderson. He shook his head. "We need time to consider your offer," Amanda said. "You have 72 hours. If you do not surrender, we will take your planet by force. Your species will serve the Empire either way." The communication ended. Henderson stood up and walked to a large window that looked out over the command center. Hundreds of people worked at computers and control panels. "Sir," his assistant asked, "should we prepare the surrender documents?" Henderson smiled. "No. Tell our ships to get ready. Tell the orbital platforms to power up. Tell the Mars colonies to begin launching." "Sir, the aliens think they know everything about us. They've been watching our television signals. They've seen our news reports about space programs. They think we're weak." Henderson pressed a button on his desk. All around the world, secret bases came online. In Antarctica, massive doors opened in the ice. Under the ocean, shipyards that had been hidden for decades turned on their lights. Rachel Brooks stood in one of those shipyards. She was an engineer who had spent 10 years building ships that no one was supposed to know about. Ships that used technology found in ancient ruins, technology that was not entirely human. "All ships report ready," Rachel said into her headset. Above Earth, Captain Danny Rodriguez sat in the captain's chair of a ship that didn't officially exist. His ship was invisible to most sensors. It had been waiting behind the moon for 3 years. "Sir, we have the alien positions," his tactical officer reported. "Good. Don't do anything yet. Let them think they're in control." On Luna Station, Jake Morrison watched more alien ships arrive. Soon there were 30 of them. They formed a circle around Earth. "They're not even trying to hide," Jake told Colonel Martinez. "Why should they?" "They think we're helpless." Martinez was wrong about one thing. The aliens were hiding something too. They had brought their full invasion fleet. But they had also brought their newest weapon, something they had never needed to use before. Dr. Monica Stevens sat in her lab in New Mexico. She looked at pictures of the artifacts her team had found in Antarctica 20 years ago. The aliens in orbit had no idea those artifacts existed. They had no idea what humans had learned from them. "Dr. Stevens," her assistant called, "Director Henderson wants to speak with you. Tell him the weapons are ready, all of them." As the 72-hour deadline began, both sides prepared for war. The aliens thought they faced a primitive species with rockets and nuclear weapons. The humans knew they faced an empire that had never lost a battle. But the humans had something the aliens didn't expect. They had been planning for this day since the first artifact was discovered. They had built their entire defense strategy around one simple idea: the aliens would underestimate them. In space, both fleets waited. The aliens counted their ships and felt confident. The humans counted their secrets and smiled. The real war was about to begin. The countdown reached 12 hours. Admiral Vextar expected the humans to surrender soon. Most species gave up when they saw the size of his fleet, but Earth remained silent. "Sir, we're detecting some unusual energy readings," his science officer reported. "From where?" "Multiple locations around the planet. Underground facilities are powering up." Vextar frowned. "Show me." The main screen displayed Earth. Red dots appeared all over the continents. More dots showed up under the oceans. Even more appeared on the moon. "What are those?" Vextar asked. "Unknown, sir. The energy signatures don't match anything in our database." Captain Danny Rodriguez received his orders at exactly the same time. His hidden fleet had been waiting behind Jupiter's largest moon. 12 ships that looked nothing like the crude rockets the aliens had seen on Earth's news broadcasts. "All ships, this is Rodriguez. Begin Phase 1. The ships moved out from behind the moon. They were sleek and black. They made no sound in space. Their engines left no heat trail that alien sensors could detect. Dr. Monica Stevens stood in her laboratory deep under the Antarctic ice. Around her, machines hummed with power that came from technology thousands of years old. The artifacts her team had found were not made by humans, but humans had learned to use them. "Monica, are the weapons ready?" Director Henderson's voice came through her headset. "Ready and charged. The aliens won't know what hit them." "Good. Remember, we only get one chance to surprise them." Stevens nodded. She pressed a series of buttons on her control panel. Around the world, similar weapons came online. The aliens had never seen technology like this because it didn't come from any species they had conquered. On the alien flagship, alarms started going off. The science officer looked confused as his instruments showed impossible readings. "Sir, I'm detecting massive energy buildup across the planet's surface." "Weapons? I don't know. The energy patterns are unlike anything we've encountered." Vextar was starting to feel worried. In 53 conquests, no species had surprised him. They all used the same basic technology: nuclear weapons, chemical rockets, metal ships. Earth should be the same. Major Susan Clark stood in what looked like a cornfield in Iowa. But under the ground was a weapon that could destroy a moon. The facility had been disguised as a farm for 15 years. The aliens watching from space saw only crops growing. Command, this is Station 12. We are ready to engage. Copy. Station 12. Wait for the signal. Similar conversations happened at 30 hidden facilities around Earth. Each one was disguised as something harmless: a research station in Canada, a factory in Germany, a mining operation in Australia. All of them were weapons. Engineer Brandon Lee worked in a facility built inside a mountain in Tibet. His job was to coordinate all the hidden weapons. He looked at his screens and saw green lights from every station. Sir, all ground installations report ready. What about the orbital platforms? Online and targeting the alien ships. The orbital platforms were the biggest secret of all. They had been built to look like communication satellites. The aliens had seen them and ignored them. Who would put weapons on a communication satellite? Captain Gary Miller commanded the Jupiter Squadron. His 6 ships were the fastest humans had ever built. They used engines based on the Antarctic artifacts. The aliens thought the fastest human ships could barely reach their own moon. Sir, we have visual contact with alien patrol ships. How many? 3 scouts. They haven't seen us yet. Good. Let's show them what real ships can do. Miller's ship accelerated. In seconds, it was moving faster than any Zelkari vessel. The alien scouts tried to turn and run, but they were too slow. Miller's weapons fired once. All 3 enemy ships exploded. Command, this is Miller. 3 enemy scouts destroyed, no damage to our ships. On the alien flagship, chaos erupted in the bridge. Sir, we've lost contact with the outer patrol. What happened? Unknown. They just disappeared from sensors. Vextar stood up from his command chair. Something was very wrong. Human ships weren't supposed to be that fast. Human weapons weren't supposed to be that powerful. Send a squadron to investigate. Yes, sir. Dr. Patricia Morgan sat in a facility on Mars that didn't officially exist. Humans had been building on Mars for 30 years, but they told the world they had only small research stations. In reality, Mars was armed like a fortress. Earth Command, this is Mars Defense. We show enemy ships moving toward the Jupiter Patrol area. Copy, Mars Defense. Are you ready to assist? We have 15 ships ready to launch. Each one is armed with artifact-based weapons. The alien squadron reached Jupiter space and found debris from their patrol ships. They also found something else: human ships that shouldn't exist. Human vessels, you will surrender immediately, the alien squadron leader transmitted. Captain Miller laughed. You're the ones who should surrender. The battle was short. The alien ships were tough, but they were also slow. Their weapons were powerful, but they couldn't hit targets they couldn't track. Miller's squadron moved like lightning, striking and disappearing before the aliens could respond. When it was over, 7 more alien ships were destroyed. The human ships had no damage at all. Admiral Vextar received the news in stunned silence. 12 ships destroyed. By humans. Impossible. Sir, should we call for reinforcements? Vextar thought about it. The nearest Imperial fleet was 3 weeks away. He had 30 ships left. That should be enough to handle whatever surprises the humans had. No, we can handle this ourselves. Begin the attack on Earth. But as his ships moved toward the planet, more surprises waited. Energy weapons fired from the moon. Platforms that looked like communication satellites opened up to reveal massive guns. Ships appeared from behind asteroids where no human ships should exist. The most shocking surprise came from Earth itself. The planet's surface erupted with weapon fire. Mountains opened up to reveal gun barrels the size of buildings. The ocean surface broke as underwater facilities rose up with weapons that glowed with strange energy. Sir, the humans have turned their entire solar system into a weapon. Vextar watched his fleet take damage from directions he hadn't expected. These weren't the primitive humans his intelligence reports had described. These were warriors who had been planning for this battle for decades. The worst surprise came when human ships started appearing throughout the solar system. Not just near Earth, but everywhere. Ships emerging from asteroid bases. Ships launching from hidden facilities on moons around Jupiter and Saturn. Ships that moved faster and hit harder than anything in the Zelkari fleet. Sir, we're outnumbered. Vextar couldn't believe it. His intelligence was wrong. Completely wrong. The humans hadn't just built a few secret weapons, they had built an entire secret civilization. As more of his ships were destroyed, Vextar realized something terrible. The humans weren't just defending their planet, they were hunting his fleet. And they were winning. Admiral Vextar had lost half his fleet in 6 hours. This had never happened before. No species had ever fought back this effectively. He sent an emergency message to the Zelkari Empire. Imperial Command, this is Admiral Vextar. Request immediate reinforcements. The humans are not what we expected. The response came back quickly. Explain your situation, Admiral. They have advanced weapons. Ships we didn't know existed. Their entire solar system is militarized. Impossible. Our intelligence shows they barely have spaceflight. Your intelligence is wrong. 3 star systems away, War Marshal Draktel received orders to assist Vextar. Draktel commanded the Empire's most elite forces. He had never lost a battle in 20 years of service. Prepare the war fleet, Draktel ordered. We leave immediately. But Draktel's ships would take 3 weeks to reach Earth. Vextar had to survive until then. Captain Jennifer Bell commanded a human ship called the Night Hunter. Her mission was different from the others. Instead of destroying alien ships, she was supposed to capture one. Target acquired, her pilot reported. Damaged Zelkari cruiser, separated from their main fleet. Perfect. Begin boarding operations. Bell's ship moved close to the alien vessel. Magnetic clamps locked onto the enemy hull. Cutting tools opened a hole in the alien ship's side. Bell led 12 Marines through the opening. The aliens inside were tall and gray with 4 arms. They carried energy weapons and wore thick armor, but they had never fought humans in close combat. Human soldiers were smaller but faster. They knew how to fight in tight spaces. They used tactics the aliens had never seen. Within an hour, Bell's team controlled the entire ship. This is Bell. Target secured. Beginning interrogation of prisoners. The alien captain was brought to Bell in the ship's command center. His name was Subcommander Kralvin. He looked confused and afraid. Your species fights strangely, Kralvin said. No other species boards our ships. We're not like other species, Bell replied. Now tell me about your Empire's military strength. I cannot betray the Empire. Bell smiled and activated a device on her wrist. It projected images into Kralvin's mind. Images of human history, wars between human nations, battles that lasted for years, cities destroyed and rebuilt, humans fighting each other for thousands of years. We've been fighting wars since before your empire existed, Bell said. We know every trick, every strategy, every way to break an enemy's will. Kralvin watched the images with growing horror. Humans didn't just fight to win territory, they fought to completely destroy their enemies. They fought until nothing was left. What do you want to know? He whispered. Meanwhile, Dr. Nathan Cooper was examining captured Zelkari technology in his laboratory. The alien weapons were advanced but not impossible to understand. Within hours, Cooper's team had figured out how they worked. The aliens use plasma-based energy weapons, Cooper reported to Director Henderson, but their power sources are inefficient. We can build better versions. Engineer Crystal Johnson was already working on improvements. She took the alien designs and combined them with human engineering principles. The result was weapons that were smaller, more powerful, and more reliable than the originals. Test firing in 10 minutes, Johnson announced. The test was successful. The human version of the alien weapon was 30% more powerful and used half the energy. Within 6 hours, human factories were producing thousands of the new weapons. On Mars, Commander Andrew Jackson received new orders. His fleet was no longer needed for defense. Earth had won the battle in their solar system. Now it was time to take the fight to the enemy. All ships, prepare for long-range patrol. We're going hunting. Jackson's 12 ships left Mars space and headed toward the nearest Zelkari military base. They carried the new weapons based on captured alien technology. They also carried something else. Human determination to end threats permanently. The Zelkari base was 15 light-years from Earth. It was supposed to be secret, but human intelligence had located it weeks ago using information from captured aliens. Sir, we have visual on the target, Jackson's tactical officer reported. The base was huge. It orbited a gas giant and had docking facilities for hundreds of ships. Weapon platforms surrounded it like a metal cloud. Begin attack pattern Alpha, Jackson ordered. Human ships moved differently than alien ships. They didn't line up and fire at each other like the Zelkari expected. Instead, they swarmed around the base like angry insects. They fired from multiple directions at once. They used the base's own size against it. The battle lasted 4 hours. When it was over, the Zelkari base was destroyed. Every ship in the system was either destroyed or captured, and the humans had transmitted everything they learned back to Earth. Admiral Vexitar received news of the base's destruction while trying to regroup his remaining ships. Only 8 vessels were left from his original 30. They were hiding behind Earth's moon, trying to avoid human patrols. Sir, the humans have attacked Base 7 Alpha. What? That's impossible. Base 7 Alpha is 15 light-years away. Confirmed destroyed, sir. No survivors. Vextar realized the horrible truth. The humans weren't just defending their world. They were attacking across multiple star systems simultaneously. Somehow they had faster ships and better intelligence than the Empire. Major Betty Wilson coordinated the attacks from Earth. Her job was to track down every Zelkari facility within 50 light-years of Earth. Human ships were already hitting targets in 17 different systems. Sir, all primary targets are eliminated. Moving to secondary targets. How are our casualty reports? Minimal. The aliens can't match our speed or tactics. The humans had learned something important from studying Zelkari psychology. The aliens were used to fighting species that thought like them. Species that fought for territory or resources. Humans fought for a different reason, to make sure the threat never came back. Every Zelkari base was not just destroyed but completely eliminated. Every ship was either captured or destroyed. Every communication relay was shut down. The humans were cutting the Empire's ability to coordinate any response. Captain Roger Martinez led the deepest strike mission. His target was a Zelkari command, center 30 light-years from Earth. The facility controlled communications for an entire sector of the Empire. Sir, we're in position. The facility has heavy defenses. Execute Plan Gamma. Plan Gamma was something no alien species had ever attempted. Instead of attacking the defenses directly, Martinez's ships attacked the planet's moon. They used the moon's own gravity to pull it into a collision course with the command center. The aliens tried to evacuate, but human ships prevented any escape. The moon impact destroyed not just the command center, but the entire planet. The psychological effect on other Zelkari forces was devastating. News of the attack reached Emperor Kethmore himself. For the first time in the Empire's history, a target species was winning, not just defending but actively destroying Imperial assets across multiple systems. How is this possible? The Emperor asked his advisors. The humans appear to have been preparing for this war for decades, Your Majesty. Their technology is more advanced than our intelligence indicated. Send War Marshal Draktel immediately. Give him everything he needs. But even as the Emperor spoke, more reports arrived. Human forces had destroyed bases in 23 star systems. They had captured enough Zelkari equipment to reverse engineer the Empire's most advanced technology, and they showed no signs of stopping. On Earth, Director Henderson watched the battle reports with satisfaction. The aliens thought they were conquering a primitive world. Instead, they had awakened something that would change the galaxy forever. Sir, should we prepare peace negotiations? Henderson shook his head. The time for peace was before they threatened our world. Now we finish this. Emperor Kethmore sent his personal ship to Earth. He came with a small escort and no weapons. It was the first time in Empire history that an emperor had personally surrendered to another species. Director Henderson met the Emperor's ship at Luna Station. The meeting would take place in space, not on Earth. Henderson wanted to show that humans were comfortable anywhere in their solar system. Emperor Kethmore, welcome to our territory, Henderson said as the alien leader entered the conference room. I have come to discuss terms of surrender, the Emperor replied. There will be no surrender. There will be transformation. Henderson activated a holographic display that showed the galaxy. Red dots marked former Zelkari territory. Blue dots showed human forces that were already in position throughout that territory. Your empire is finished, but your species doesn't have to be. Dr. Caroline West stepped forward with a data pad. She was Earth's leading expert on galactic politics. For 20 years, she had studied how to manage large populations across multiple star systems. "We have reviewed your empire's structure," West said. "Your system of conquest and slavery is inefficient. It creates rebellion and wastes resources. What do you propose instead?" the Emperor asked. "Cooperation, education, technological sharing. Instead of forcing species to serve you, help them develop their own capabilities." Emperor Kethmore looked confused. "But how do we maintain control?" "You don't. Control isn't the goal. Progress is the goal." Admiral Tony Rodriguez had brought his fleet to the Emperor's homeworld. His ships were not there to conquer but to protect. Other species in the galaxy had heard about the Empire's defeat. Some were planning their own attacks on former Zelkari territory. "Sir, we're detecting 3 different fleets moving toward Zelkari space," Rodriguez's intelligence officer reported. "Species?" "The Krextal Confederation, the Molan Republic, and something called the Hive Collective. Send them a message. Tell them this territory is under human protection now." The message was simple and direct. Any attack on former Zelkari worlds would be considered an attack on Earth. The 3 alien fleets immediately changed course and returned to their own territory. Colonel Maria Santos was working on integrating Zelkari technology with human systems. But instead of just copying alien designs, her team was improving them. They were creating hybrid systems that combined the best of both civilizations. The Zelkari had good ideas but poor execution, Santos reported. "Their ships are strong but slow. Their weapons are powerful but wasteful. Their computers are advanced but inefficient. Can we fix those problems?" "Already working on it. Give us 6 months and we'll have ships that are better than anything." Either species built alone. The integration process was happening on every former Zelkari world. Human engineers worked alongside alien scientists. They shared knowledge freely. They built new things together. Engineer Justin Taylor was working on the Empire's resource problems. For centuries, the Zelkari had forced conquered species to mine materials and grow food for the Empire. The system created shortages and conflicts. "The problem is inefficiency," Taylor explained to a group of former Zelkari administrators. "You were taking resources from planets instead of helping planets produce more resources. How do we produce more? Technology sharing, education, investment in local infrastructure. Help each world become more productive instead of just taking what they produce." Taylor's team set up research centers on dozens of worlds. They taught alien species how to use human farming techniques, human manufacturing methods, and human energy systems. Production increased dramatically. Dr. Gregory Adams led the teams that were establishing human-supervised research stations throughout former Empire territory. But these weren't military bases. They were centers of learning where multiple species could work together. "The goal is not to replace Zelkari culture," Adams explained. "The goal is to help all species develop their potential." Adams had studied the history of every species in the former Empire. Many had been conquered before they could develop advanced technology. Under human guidance, they were finally free to explore science and engineering. The results were remarkable. Within 6 months, former slaves were inventing new technologies. Species that had been forced to fight each other were working together on research projects. The galaxy was changing faster than anyone had expected, Captain Karen Phillips commanded, the new flagship of the combined fleet. The ship was built using technology from 6 different species all working together. It was faster, stronger, and more advanced than anything any single species could have built. "Sir, we're receiving reports from across the former Empire," Phillips, communication officer, said. "What kind of reports?" "Production is up on 43 worlds. Education programs are running on 67 worlds. Scientific research is happening on 82 worlds, and we have 0 rebellions." Phillips smiled. The human approach was working. Instead of controlling people, They were helping people control their own destinies. The biggest success was on the former capital world of the Empire. Emperor Kethmore had been transformed from an absolute ruler into an elected coordinator. The planet's population was learning about democracy, individual rights, and personal freedom. "It's strange," the former emperor told Henderson during one of their regular meetings. "My people are happier now than they were when I had absolute power. Power isn't about controlling others. Real power is about helping others become powerful themselves." The transformation wasn't just political, it was educational. Schools throughout the former empire were teaching children of multiple species together. They learned about science, art, philosophy, and cooperation. Human teachers worked alongside alien educators. They created new curricula that combined the best knowledge from all species. Children who had grown up expecting to serve the empire were instead learning to build their own futures. The most important change was psychological. For generations, the empire had taught that some species were superior to others. Humans taught that every species had unique strengths and valuable perspectives. "Diversity makes us stronger," became the motto of the new galactic government. Other empires in the galaxy watched these changes with growing concern. The humans had not just defeated the Zelkari Empire, they had transformed it into something completely different, something that might spread to other parts of the galaxy. Some empires tried to attack the new human-led alliance. They found that their targets were no longer divided and weak. The former Zelkari worlds fought together now. They had human technology and human training. They were impossible to conquer. Director Henderson stood on the observation deck of the new galactic capital station. Through the windows, he could see ships from dozens of species working together. Scientists, engineers, artists, and philosophers from across the galaxy came here to share knowledge. "Sir, we're receiving a request from the Andromedal Empire," his aide reported. "They want to establish diplomatic relations. Tell them they're welcome to visit, but make sure they understand our rules." "Which are? No slavery, no conquest, no forcing anyone to do anything. If they can accept that, we'll be happy to work with them." The request from Andromeda was just the first. As word spread about the transformation of the former Zelkari Empire, other species wanted to join the alliance, not because they were conquered, but because they wanted to be part of something better. Children throughout the galaxy grew up learning about the day Earth changed everything. They learned that a small, blue planet had faced the galaxy's most powerful empire and won, not through conquest but through cooperation. How did they do it? Children would ask their teachers. They never tried to become the strongest. They tried to help everyone become stronger. The galaxy was becoming a place where every species could reach its potential, where knowledge was shared freely, where conflicts were solved through cooperation instead of conquest. And at the center of it all was Earth, the small planet that had taught the galaxy a new way to live. Years later, when historians wrote about this time, they called it the Great Transformation, the moment when the galaxy changed from a place of conquest and slavery to a place of cooperation and freedom. It all began when an empire thought they knew Earth. They were wrong. Earth knew something much more important. Earth knew how to turn enemies into friends and how to make the galaxy a better place for everyone. War Marshal Draktel arrived at Earth with 200 ships. He was the Empire's greatest military commander. He had conquered 12 species personally. He brought the Empire's most advanced weapons and their most elite soldiers. "Admiral Vextar, report your status," Draktel commanded. "War Marshal, I have 8 ships remaining. The humans destroyed everything else." Draktel looked at the tactical display. Human ships were everywhere in the solar system. They moved in patterns he had never seen before. They attacked from directions that made no tactical sense. "Show me recordings of their attacks." Vextar played the battle recordings. Draktel watched human ships move faster than should be possible. He saw weapons that fired energy beams he didn't recognize. Most disturbing of all, he saw humans boarding Zelkari ships and converting the crews. "They're not fighting to control territory," Draktel realized. "They're fighting to eliminate us completely." "Yes, sir. They've destroyed 27 bases in different star systems. They're hunting us across the galaxy. Dr. Nathan Cooper had been busy studying the new alien ships. War Marshal Dractel had brought much more advanced technology than Admiral Vextar, but Cooper was confident human. Scientists could figure it out. These ships use quantum phase engines, Cooper reported to Director Henderson, much faster than the previous alien technology. How long to reverse engineer them? Give me 48 hours. Engineer Crystal Johnson was already working on the new designs. She had teams of scientists and engineers from around the world, helping her. They worked in shifts around the clock. The breakthrough came when they realized the alien technology used principles similar to the Antarctic artifacts. Human scientists had been studying those principles for 20 years. They understood the alien technology better than the aliens themselves. "Sir, we've done it," Johnson reported. "Our version is twice as fast as the alien original." Meanwhile, Captain Jennifer Bell was interrogating captured aliens from Dractel's fleet. She had learned that the Empire had one final weapon. Something they had never used before because no species had ever forced them to. "Tell me about the planet killer," Bell demanded. The alien prisoner, a ship captain named Vortex, shook his head. "I cannot speak of it." Bell activated her neural interface device again. This time she showed Vortex images of what humans did to their own planet during wars. Forests burned, cities destroyed, entire regions made uninhabitable. And then humans rebuilt everything and kept fighting. "We've been destroying our own planet for thousands of years," Bell said. "Do you really think your planet killer scares us?" Vortex broke down and told her everything. The Empire had a weapon that could crack a planet in half. It had forced the surrender of every species they had encountered. The weapon was on its way to Earth. How long until it arrives? 6 days. Bell immediately sent the information to Earth. Command. Director Henderson called an emergency meeting of all military commanders. "The aliens have a planet-destroying weapon coming," Henderson announced. "We have 6 days to prepare." "Can we evacuate the planet?" someone asked. "No. We don't have enough ships. Besides, running isn't the human way." Dr. Monica Stevens had been working on something special in her Antarctic laboratory. For 20 years, she had studied the most powerful artifacts found in the ice. She had never dared to use them because they were too dangerous. "Sir, I think I can stop their planet." "Killer," Stevens reported. "How?" "The artifacts contain technology for planetary shields. Not just deflector shields, but energy absorption shields. We can turn their weapons' power against them." "Do it." Stevens and her team worked for 5 straight days. They built a network of shield generators around the Earth. The generators were based on artifact technology but improved with human engineering. The alien planet killer arrived exactly when the prisoner said it would. The ship was enormous, bigger than a city. It carried a weapon that could break apart a world. War Marshal Dractel watched from his flagship as the planet killer charged its weapon. He had seen this moment 53 times before. The moment when a species realized they were truly defeated. "Fire. The planet killer," he commanded. The weapon fired. A beam of pure energy shot toward Earth. It carried enough power to shatter continents. It was the Empire's ultimate expression of dominance. The beam hit Earth's shield and disappeared. "Sir, the weapon had no effect," the planet killer's captain reported. "Impossible." Fire again. The second shot was absorbed just like the first, and the third. Each time, Earth's shield grew brighter as it absorbed more energy. "War Marshal, the planet's energy output is increasing. They're using our weapon to power their defenses." Dractel stared at the tactical display in shock. No species had ever survived the planet killer. Most surrendered just from seeing it. But the humans had turned it into a power source. "Sir, we're detecting massive energy buildup on the planet's surface. The energy the shield had absorbed was being redirected to Earth's weapons. Every hidden facility, every orbital platform, every secret base was now powered beyond its normal capacity. The counterattack was devastating. Earth's weapons fired with 10 times their normal power. Human ships that had been hiding throughout the solar system revealed themselves and joined the assault. War Marshal Dractel's fleet was destroyed in 30 minutes. The planet killer, The Empire's most feared weapon was captured intact. Only Draktel's flagship escaped, and only because the humans let it go. Why did you let them escape? Someone asked Director Henderson. Because we want them to go home and tell the Empire what happened here. Commander Andrew Jackson led the pursuit fleet that followed the surviving alien ship back toward Empire space. But this wasn't a pursuit to destroy the enemy. It was a pursuit to send a message. Jackson's ships appeared in orbit around 12 different Zelkari worlds. They didn't attack the planets. Instead, they broadcast a message to every alien in the Empire. People of the Zelkari Empire, this is Commander Jackson of the Earth Defense Force. Your military attacked our world without provocation. We have defeated your fleets and destroyed your weapons. But we are not conquerors like you. The message continued on every planet in the Empire. We offer you a choice. Your leaders can surrender and work with us to build a better galaxy, or your military can continue to fight and be completely destroyed. Choose wisely. Major Betty Wilson coordinated the message broadcast from her command ship. Human vessels had appeared in orbit around every major Zelkari world simultaneously. It was a demonstration of power that no one could ignore. Sir, we're receiving responses from 47 worlds. Most are asking for terms of surrender. What about the Empire's capital? No response yet. On the capital world, Emperor Kethamor sat in his throne room surrounded by his advisors. For the first time in the Empire's history, they faced an enemy they could not defeat. Your Majesty, we must negotiate, his chief advisor said. The Empire does not negotiate with inferior species. Your Majesty, with respect, they are not inferior. They have technology we cannot match. They have strategies we cannot counter. They have turned our own weapons against us. The Emperor looked at the reports from across his territory. Human ships everywhere, bases destroyed, fleets eliminated. The humans had done in weeks what should have taken years. What do they want? They want us to surrender completely, Your Majesty. They want to restructure our entire government. And if we refuse, then they will destroy every military asset we have and leave us defenseless against other enemies. Emperor Kethamor realized he had no choice. The humans had demonstrated they could destroy his empire whenever they wanted. But instead of destroying it, they were offering to transform it. Send a message to the human commander. Tell them the Empire wishes to discuss terms. On Earth, Director Henderson received the message with satisfaction. The plan had worked perfectly. The aliens thought they were conquering a weak species. Instead, they had awakened the galaxy's new dominant power. Sir, should we accept their surrender? Not yet. First, we make sure they understand the new rules.